You can always come to next night. Okay. You can have them like type of questions in the comments instead of waiting at the end for them all jump in at once. Yeah, we could definitely do that. Hi, everybody. We're just waiting for a few more people. We'll start in like 1 minute. All right, guys. Hi, my name is Charlotte. I am the Camp Matollionequay Director, and we are going to talk about alleviating homesickness and setting your camper up for success. So we are waiting on Andrea. She is our mental health professional who will be at Matolli this summer. And this is Ruth. Ruth is our assistant director at Camp Matolli for the summer. We also have a social work intern that will be with us. Her name is Mia. She is not able to make it tonight, but she will be on our social work team, our mental health team this summer. There's a few more people joining us, but we can just let them in as they come in. So we're going to answer questions at the end, but if you guys would like to, if you guys have any questions, you can just drop them in the chat box and then we can answer them at the end of the session, or you can just wait and answer them and ask them at the end. Just so you guys know, this session is going to be recorded so that we can send it out to people that couldn't make it tonight. And you're welcome to have your cameras on, you're welcome to have your mics off, whatever you guys feel most comfortable doing. Great. So as I said, my name is Charlotte Brown. I'm the Camp Matollionequay Director. This will be my 3rd summer at Camp Matolli. And my background is I grew up at camp. I grew up at an all-girls sleepaway camp in the Poconos. I obviously love camp, and I have my master's in social work. So my love for social work and camp has fused together and has brought me here, which is kind of where we landed in terms of setting your camper up for success and alleviating homesickness. Ruth, do you want to introduce yourself and say your background?
Sure. So hi, everyone. I am Ruthie Chabin. This is my 1st summer at Matolli, and I'm really excited. I've spent like 15 plus years going to camp and working at camp. I have a degree in psychology, and I've also been a teacher And I just love everything that camp offers, like the parents as well as the campers.
Great. Yeah, we love camp. If you didn't know, now you know. So, I'm just going to kind of jump in. A lot of the information that we're going to talk about is on the newsletter that you guys should have received in the mail. It's called the Daily Gleam. And if you turn to page 3, it's how to prep your camper for a successful summer. So a lot of it is, we're going to review it and kind of go in greater detail about it, but it's there for you if you want. And I'm happy to send you another copy if you want via email or snail mail, whatever you would like. So, providing your camper with information prior to camp sets them up and alleviates a lot of anxiety leading up to camp. So being able to, as a parent, to research and provide information for yourself as well as your camper. So this includes reviewing the sample schedule that you should have received, and it's also on the website, a list of activities, our menu, our achievement program, watching like the tour on our website. All of those things is really helpful for you as the parent to know what's going on at camp, as well as to review with your camper so your camper knows what to expect when they come to camp. Following us on social media. So we have Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So following us on social media just to see what's going on at camp in the preseason. What are we doing? What are upcoming events that you can attend with your camper? On our social media pages, we introduce a lot of our seasonal staff there and give them and talk about their bios and what they're doing at camp and how many summers they've been there. And so when you get to camp, you see some familiar faces, and kind of looking at that together is helpful. So the next thing is knowing the policies. So knowing the policies is obviously helpful for the parents as well as for the campers. On the website is the parent handbook, and you'll also be receiving the parent handbook via email. But if you go to the website, which is ycamp.org, and you go to the forms folder and click overnight camp, that's where the parent information booklet lives, which goes all over all of our policies and procedures. So it's always there for you. If you can't find it, you're welcome to email me and I can email that to you as well. But I'm just going to go over the policies and procedures that kind of just pertain to homesickness and alleviating some anxiety. So the first thing is knowing the policies and procedures around technology and communication, as this is a big one at overnight camp. So the technology policy is basically we don't allow technology at camp. It's a back to basics mentality. So anything that can have Wi-Fi on it, we don't allow. If a camper does bring it, we'll just take it and we'll give it back at the end of the session. So this is like a smartwatch or an iPad or a phone, anything like that that can connect to Wi-Fi. Communication. So just know that campers cannot call home at camp. We do get a lot of parents that tell their camper, if you're sad, just tell somebody and you can call home. Unfortunately, that's not the case. The case is that we live by no news is good news. So not hearing from us at camp is a good thing. If a camper needs to tell you information, they can do that via snail mail, or we have a system called Bunk One. And bunk one is basically, it's an email system, and you'll get an email about this, but basically it's an email system where you will, you can send an email or like write basically like on a template. We then print it on our end and the camper receives it during mail time. You can then purchase a blank one where the camper can fill it out, and then we scan it home. So basically you receive it within 24 hours and it's our fastest form of communication. If there's something that we do need to talk to you about, you know, what's going on at camp or the camper or whatever, most likely you'll receive a phone call from the parent liaison. So the parent liaison is our frontline form of communication. Her email address is Matolly, MATOLLY, parent @ycamp.org. That information and everybody's email address is also in that parent handbook for you. But that's like the front line of communication. We also have the camp nurse. Her email is matollynurse@ycamp.org, or you'll hear from me or Ruth, but most likely it will be from the parent liaison, or Andrea, who is the mental health professional. You might also hear from your camper's village leader or like the unit leader about something that's going on at camp. Yeah. So the next thing is attend a camp tour. As I said, all of the upcoming events are on our social media page. So we do have a few upcoming events. On this Sunday, the 15th, is our last open house. And it's from 1:30 to 4. And it's a chance for families to come see camp and get a tour, meet myself, meet Ruth, meet some of our seasonal staff, see the program, learn about our achievement program, see the activities, and get a sense of our culture and our program. And that typically alleviates a lot of anxiety for campers because they can really picture themselves at camp. We have a sample cabin that's set up to look like what it would look like in the summer, so the camper can get up on the bed and, you know, really see themselves at camp for the summer and get excited. Other upcoming events that we have is a roll up your sleeves weekend, which is Sunday, May 22nd, which is basically a volunteer time to come to Matolly and just like help set up camp. And yeah, so it's just a good place to see what's going on before camp and get a sense of things. And you're more than welcome to join any of those upcoming events. You can register for those events at ycamp.org, but if you go to our Instagram account, it will always lead you back to where you can register. And again, you're always welcome to just email me, and I can register for you or just show you how to do it. So the other thing is to mark the calendar. So if you have a calendar with your camper, to create a countdown to camp. So it's not this like big surprise or this shock when camp is happening. So your camper knows it's 20 days to camp, 10 days to camp, 5 days to camp, and you guys can cross off the days together to get excited about what's to come. And circle the dates that the camper will be away so that they can anticipate that time frame, whether it's for mini camp and it's 3 days, or for a camper that's going away for 2 weeks or 4 weeks, so that they can really visualize what that looks like and how long they're going to be away for. Okay, so the next is giving your camper a hands-on experience. So when campers come to camp, they have to make their bed. that's part of being independent, and part of, you know, the culture of camp is teaching campers to be independent, and make their bed and make their cubbies and put their clothes away and all of those things. And so you can start practicing that at home. So be with your camper and help your camper make the bed. What does that look like? What does that feel like? How do you put sheets on a bed? I know I didn't make a bed until I first went to camp. And so that would have been really helpful for my mom to teach me. But to do those things together, and so it's not this like big shock when they get to camp and they say, I don't know how to do it. Of course, the counselors are there to assist them and help them with everything, but to give them the confidence to do that on their own. And that goes along with learning to fold your clothes, or tidying up after yourself, or where do your belongings go? Because part of sleepaway camp is, as I said, is learning those skills. We have cabin cleanup time, which takes place after breakfast, where campers have a chore above making their bed and their cubby and all of that. They also have to like sweep the cabin and make sure that the clothesline is empty. And you know, it's part of communal living, is everybody taking care of the shared space. So learning to fold your clothes together would be very helpful prior to camp starting. Review the packing list together. So campers can prep and start putting aside what they want to bring to camp. And so they start getting excited. I really want to bring this shirt. I'm really excited to wear this shirt to camp. And then you can start putting their names on the shirt and start labeling things, because we label everything at camp anyway, because everything gets, you know, jumbled up together and things end up in the lost and found. And so you can start that process sooner rather than later, so you know what you're bringing to camp to alleviate your anxiety as well as the camper's anxiety. And it's exciting when they wear their favorite shirt and they're like, I'm bringing this to camp, and it's something that kind of reminds them that they're going to camp, and it's exciting. And pack together. So the campers know where everything is located when they're unpacking. So again, part of what we're teaching campers is independence and resiliency and confidence and all of those great skills. So we don't allow parents to come to set up their camper's bed and their cubby area. It's up to the campers to do that. Besides mini camp, we do allow parents to help out in mini camp. But for main campers, we do say that parents and guardians, it's up to the camper to make their bed and put their clothes away. So if you pack your duffel bag together, the campers then know, okay, this is where my shorts are, and this is where my favorite teddy bear is. So the camper, it alleviates some anxiety about, did I forget this? Do I have everything? Is everything here? The camper is aware that it was packed together, and they know where it's located in the duffel bag, so that they feel more confident and empowered to unpack on their own, again, with the counselor's assistance. Something that's also helpful is packing small reminders of home. So this could be anything from pictures to a stuffed animal to a blanket, just like little trinkets from home that make being in a cabin more comfortable and more homey. And this is also a great opportunity for campers to kind of chat about, this is what my house looks like, this is what my brother looks like, this is my favorite stuffed animal. And it's very common. Everybody brings everything. I always brought stuffed animals and liked my baby blanket to camp. So bring whatever you feel is special to you, something that you want in your cabin, in your living space. If a camper has never slept away from home before, it's helpful to do a trial run, whether that is for your camper to sleep at a friend's house or a grandparent's house, just to get them to get the sense of sleeping in a different bed, sleeping in a different environment, waking up in a different environment, and getting them used to not waking up in their own bed. And of course, if you would like to connect to another family prior to camp starting, you're welcome to do that. So you would just reach out to me anytime before camp, and we can get you connected with another family, whether they're new or returning, so that your camper knows somebody and feels, that they might recognize somebody before camp starts. And it could be anybody. I've had parents ask me to set them up with somebody from their town, somebody that's going to be in their cabin, someone that's going to be, same age, that goes to their school, whatever it is. I can kind of look it up for you, like whatever you're looking to connect with. And then I just connect you via email. And then typically, the parents kind of take it from there and set up like a play date or whatever. And it's nice for the campers to see a familiar face on the first day, whether that's somebody that's going to be in their cabin or not. And some families ask that it's a new family so that the campers can experience it together, or some families ask that it's a returning family so that the camper can ask the returning camper information about, what is camp like and all of those things. So the next thing is encouragement, which seems really obvious. But basically, to not give your camper false promises. So telling them that they could come home if they're upset, or telling them that they can call home if they're homesick. We don't want to set the camper up with false promises, because then they come to camp and like, my mom said that I can call home. And then they get even more sad, and then they don't trust the leadership staff. And it sets them up to not be successful. So telling your camper ahead of time what the expectation is, and not giving them false promises or false hope is huge in this process. And encourage your camper with positive affirmations, such as, we know that you can do it. You're going to have a great time. We're so proud of you. All of those things, to just keep encouraging your camper that it's going to be a positive experience and that they're going to have a successful experience. A big thing to do in letters is to not give your camper FOMO. So FOMO is fear of missing out. So instead of telling your camper, we had a great time at the lake, like, wish you were here, kind of refocus it and say, how's camp? What did you do? We can't wait to see you. And reassure them that you'll see them soon. So kind of just like reshifting that focus back onto them, and not giving them a reason to miss home. You can definitely tell them how the lake was when you pick them up, but just so that they're kind of focused on where they are in the present at camp. Okay, talk it out. So a big part of coming to camp for the first time is it's normal to be anxious, and it's expected. This is a big change for many campers. They haven't lived in the woods before. They haven't had communal living before. They haven't lived in a cabin without electricity before. So all of these things is a big deal, and it's normal and expected to have anxiety about it. And so to just tell them that's totally normal and that's okay that you're anxious, and kind of and talk about it together. Why is the camper feeling anxious, and what are they excited about? And kind of talk through what's making them anxious and what can we do about it to alleviate that anxiety. On the parent side of things is to fill out the parent confidential form. So when you register, there's a form, it's like with your medical form, that is the parent confidential form. And that basically asks about your camper. It will ask, what can we do to set up your camper for success? What tools do they need? How can we best support them? That information gets given to the counselors, and that information is given to the counselors so that they can best support your camper. So sometimes we have a camper where we didn't receive one, or the parents like, everything's great. But it would have been really helpful to know that when the camper is anxious, she would like X, Y, and Z. So that when we know that information, so that we have it off the bat, we can use those techniques that we know work at home, and we can use those techniques at camp for your camper, rather than kind of just figuring it out on our own, and then we're calling you on day 3 and then half of camp has gone by. So just letting us know what works for your camper so that we can institute those tools at camp. Knowing the team. So we have a large leadership team that are here to just support your camper, obviously physically and emotionally. So as I said, I'm the camp director and I have my LMSW. So my background is in social work. We have the parent liaison. There's 2 this summer, both of which are teachers, and obviously have worked with kids. We have the camp nurse, and then we have a whole mental health team. We have Andrea, who has her doctorate in social work, and we have Mia, who is currently going to get her master's in social work right now as a second year in grad school. And so there's a lot of support there, both for the staff and for the campers, on how can we best support your camper and set them up for a successful summer. Because that's what we're here to do, to make sure that your camper is having fun, is engaged, and into the experience as much as possible, and coming out of it as much as possible. And then we have the unit leaders who are also there, obviously, for support. Prepare for drop-off. So part of the setting your camper up for a successful summer is, as I said, expectations. And so this is for your camper to know that drop-off is short and sweet. Elongating drop-off typically makes homesickness worse. So for your camper to know that it's not going to be a long goodbye, it's going to be a quick, like, I'm dropping you off. Here's your unit leader. Here's your counselors. We'll see you in a week. And this way, it's quick, it's easy. And that, typically when parents stay longer, it makes it worse for campers to say goodbye. So just knowing that it's going to be quick, it's going to be, 20 minutes, and we'll see you next week. Have fun. And then and kind of going from there. What some parents do is they pre-write a letter home. You can either leave this in the duffel bag for the camper, so it's there, or they send it before camp starts, like a week before, so we have it on hand, and they get the letter the first night. There is recommended reading if you guys would like to do some reading together. It's a book called Notes from the Camp Bunk. I got it on Amazon. It's like $10. And it's written by Eden Martin, who I believe is a 9-year-old sleepaway camper who had her first sleepaway camp experience and wrote a book about it. It's very generic, so it pertains to pretty much all overnight camp. And you and your camper could read it together to talk about, what is the dining hall experience like? What is it like waking up in a cabin? What is a campfire like? What is an evening program like? All of those things. And so it's nice to read it together so that parents know what to expect and the camper knows what to expect. And it's a very, very easy read. Okay. Anything else you want to add?
I think so. Sounds all good.
Cool. So I will jump into questions. Okay. says, I don't think I saw the pamphlet. Could you send it to me? Yes, I will send you, I'll send everybody after this the family handbook. So you guys all have it. Can you share the pamphlet? Yes. So someone asked, is it okay to come to the open house for 30 minutes or should we expect to stay longer? Families are welcome to come for as long as they want. It's open door, so you can come anytime between 1:30 and 4. Tours typically take about 20 to 30 minutes. You're welcome to, drop off a tour if you're like, okay, I've seen it all, we're ready to go home. And you're also welcome to kind of just walk the grounds on your own if that's something you would like. At the open houses, we have basketball's open, tennis is open, we have Hammock Village is open, which is like an area where there's a bunch of hammocks, and we have s'mores. You're welcome to just like kind of see the program area, meet the staff. You don't even have to take a tour. Whatever you guys would like. Totally up to you. What is mini camp? So mini camp is the magic of Matollionequay condensed into 3 days. So it is for campers age 6 to 8 years old, and it takes place Sunday to Wednesday night. And they do everything that our main campers do within 3 days. So it's like a trial camp. So one person writes, hi, hopefully you will cover this, but how do you handle anxiety that is more than homesickness? My daughter was fine with sleepovers at friends' houses in the past, but started with anxiety in recent years. She's had panic attacks and gets hysterical and had to come home. How would you handle this if it happens? So it's obviously a case-by-case basis. We would probably meet with you prior to camp, say what techniques work for you at home and how can we institute that at camp. So whatever techniques kind of work, we would adopt. As I said, we have a mental health team. So if your camper feels comfortable talking to Andrea or Mia or her unit leaders, we would set that up. Some campers just need a nap and just need like a second away from all the chaos. And so it's really a case-by-case basis as to like what works for your camper and how can we support your camper to have her be successful in this summer experience. So if you want, you can email me directly and we can set up that phone call so that I can get that information so that when she eventually gets to camp, I can let her unit leaders know how to best support her. We're not signed up yet for camp. We're going to sign up one child for 1 week of camp. We didn't register for this weekend's open house and we'll be deciding after to see the camp. Do the weeks get filled up or do we have options to register for any of the weeks? So there is room right now in sessions 2 and 3. Session 2 is a 1 week session and session 3 is a 2 week session. We do have a wait list for all the other sessions, including mini camp and CITs and rangers. However, our registration department is currently going through the cancellations that came through on May 1st. So there is still wiggle room on our wait list, and I'm currently hiring more staff so that we can increase camper capacity. Yes, can you repeat the email address? So the email addresses for our leadership team will be in the family handbook, and they haven't arrived to camp yet, but I'm happy to reiterate them. So the email addresses for leadership for our nurse is matollionurse@ycamp.org. Our parent liaison is matollioparent@ycamp.org. My email address is Charlotte, CHARLOTTE @ycamp.org. And Ruth's email address is ruth@ycamp.org. Will we know who our daughter's unit leader is going to be before she goes to camp? Probably not. You will probably find out when they get to camp at check-in. This is because we cabinize our campers maybe like a week or so before camp starts, but things kind of still shuffle around even a few days before camp starts. But if there's anything specific, I can connect you with who it probably will be. Our unit leaders will connect with you throughout the session with a blog as to like what's going on in your camper schedule, what do they have for dinner, what's going on that night, what they're doing for evening activity, and all of those things. The best person to connect with and the fastest form of communication is Matollionequay@ycamp.org, who is your first line of communication, who will then most likely reiterate any information to the unit leader. The unit leader is like out at camp in the summer. They really don't have much access to email or phone calls. And so that's why the Matollionequay parent is the best form of communication in the summer. If we walked around the grounds ourselves, what are the operating hours? So the only time you can come to camp is during the open house because we have staff there. Otherwise, we do take memberships. So, but we don't typically have people that just like come into camp. We do have gates at all the entrances. But if you have a specific question or like something that you want to figure out, you can just email me directly and we can see if we can figure that out. Did you say that we have to pay for the blank form that our daughter can fill out to write home by email? How do I pay for that? So the system for bunk one is you do pay an additional fee for that service. I don't know offhand how much it costs, but I can send out the bunk one form to you guys. And basically, I think it's like a few dollars. And you can send the additional fee is if you want to send it, and then there's an additional fee for the blank form. For really chronic homesick campers, I do say, or like our team says, if they want to write a letter home, then I'll scan it and send it to the parents so that they do get it directly. If it's something that like, you know, they just want to say themselves or they don't want us to communicate that for them. And then obviously that's not a charge. Are we notified in advance what the activities are for the session that may require a costume, such as team for color wars and theme events? Yes. So all of that information is in the parent handbook. On the packing form, I believe there's like a little table that says what the dance theme is for each session so that you know what to pack. The campers also like share with each other, or they'll like make something in arts and crafts or any of those things. And then if your camper doesn't have if they're coming for Matollionequay games or Color War, which is sessions 3 and 4, and it's their first summer, they'll get a team once they're at camp. But if they're a returning camper and they forgot their team color, just email me and I can let you know what their team color is. But if they're a new camper, you can pack black and red for Color War. And again, they all typically just share with each other. My daughter will be 13 in July, registered for session 7 at the end of August. Sounds like most campers are younger. I hope there are girls her age. There are plenty of girls her age. We have lots of campers of all ages, and we make sure to bunk the campers with campers their own age. So that's never an issue. She'll be in a cabin with campers her own age. Is there any deposit money required to book slot before the open house? So if you mean like, do you have to pay for the open house? No, the event is free. If you're talking about a deposit for registration, yes, it's $250 per session for the deposit. And then I believe the next payment date is June 3rd. And that might be the last payment date to pay in full by. But if you have questions about registration, you can email registration@ycamp.org. Yes. So is there regular snail mail? Yes, there certainly is. We give mail out during shower time, which is at 5 o'clock. It's right before dinner. And we deliver mail to their cabins as well as packages. You're welcome to send packages. We just ask that parents don't put anything that has peanut butter in it, obviously for allergies. And that's all the questions. Is there any other questions or concerns that you guys have? Okay, great. So what I can do is I will send out this video so you guys have it. I'll also send out the newsletter so you guys have it, this information in print, as well as the family handbook so you guys have that as well. So if you have any questions or concerns that come up, please feel free to contact me anytime. Again, my email is Charlotte, CHARLOTTE@ycamp.org. And you're welcome to call me anytime as well. My office line is 609-654-8225, extension 1523. And my camp cell phone number is 609-923-6666. And I'm excited to see you guys at camp this summer and hopefully at the open house. And it's going to be a great experience for you and for your camper. And we're just excited to share the magic of Matollionequay. So thank you guys, everybody, for joining, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye, guys.